If you need help and you want me to be there and you tell me no, what more can I do?
All right, but when I ask you for stuff, it's always a problem, though.
How is it a... You just asked me.
It's a problem.
What did I do?
Right? What did you do?
Stroller, you ain't even put the stroller up.
When this grandbaby is born, I'll be able to look at it and tell. That's the only reason she was there. Because once this baby comes out, I'll be able to tell if this is my grandbaby.
She looked like him. I said, oh, look at your baby, woo, 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 and all that.
Just in case it isn't. My mom has to read that obituary. She lost a child. If this baby turned out to be his, do I want my mama to look in there and look at a reminder of a baby that was supposed to be his? I'm thinking about my mama feelings. It don't have nothing to do with her.
Buckle up for this emotional roller coaster. Mr. Lang expresses his strong desire for the child to be his, despite his doubts about paternity. He clearly articulates his emotional state and hopefulness, highlighting the personal stakes involved in the case. But guess what? The plot thickens just around the corner.
Mr. Lang, you and your mother have been waiting in agony to find out if you're indeed the biological father of your little daughter, Janelle. Now, although you have doubt, Mr. Lang, you want nothing more than for this child to be yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
Wait till you hear this bombshell. A critical revelation occurs when Ms. Lang accuses Miss Brown of potentially cheating on her son with his best friend, Mr. Dixon. This accusation throws a wrench in the whole paternity question, cranking up the tension in the courtroom. And you won't believe what's coming up next.
Because I found out that Brown slept with my son's best friend from the Sandbox best friend or Mr. Dixon's.
No, that's not true, Your Honor. I've never slept with Mr. Dixon. Mr. Dixon and Mr. Lang have been not friends for a while. They've been going at it, trying to fight each other.
Hold on to your popcorn. Here's a twist. Miss Brown recounts how Mr. Lang reacted positively upon learning of her pregnancy, showing his initial commitment and excitement about becoming a father. This moment really paints a picture of the emotional bond and acceptance of fatherhood by Mr. Lang. But hang tight, there's more juice to squeeze.
I was at the doctor. I came home and I gave him the paper saying I was pregnant. He kept the paper. He even took it to school to show everybody, oh, I have a baby on the way. He stayed with me through the whole entire pregnancy, birth and delivery. He was happy to have a baby. I wasn't sure about keeping a baby. I just started college.
Can you handle more drama? Watch this curveball. A dramatic twist in the narrative unfolds as Mr. Lang begins to harbor doubts about paternity after seeing Miss Brown with another man, Mr. Dixon. This adds layers of suspicion and betrayal to the story. Strap in. The emotional turbulence is just getting started.
Walking to her house, to her apartment, while I'm like walking down the street, things like that.
Was this before or after the baby was born?
Before.
Do you have any idea why another man, Dixon in particular, would say he's the father?
And I've never slept with him. Me and him was not even cool. When we even seen each other, it was never like that. It was always a group of friends.
Here's a tender yet tangled moment. The birth of the baby brings a touching scene where Mr. Lang actively participates in the delivery process, showing his deep emotional investment. Yet, doubts about the baby's paternity immediately cloud the joyful moment, adding complexity to his feelings. You'll want to stick around for what's next.
When this grandbaby is born, I'll be able to look at it and tell. That's the only reason she was there.
Did you think the baby was yours?
He thought it was his, and I interject right there. She looked like him. Look at your baby, woo, 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 and all that. And then he pulled the hat off. He said, Mama, what's up with this hairline?
Gear up for the big reveal. The climax of the episode comes crashing down with the unveiling of the DNA test results.
In the case of Lang versus Brown, when it comes to 1-year-old baby Janelle, Mr. Lang, you are not the father.
Are you serious?
Buckle up for this one. Miss Hooker steps forward with her mother, firmly claiming Mr. Abraham fathered her 10-month-old daughter, Kenaya. They're not just here for drama. They want an apology from Ms. Baker and her family for publicly denying the child. Their denial, they claim, has caused unbearable emotional strain. And guess what? The story thickens from here.
Ms. Hooker, you are here with your mother because you say the defendant's son, Mr. Abraham, fathered your 10-month-old daughter, Kenaya. You say that Ms. Baker and her family's denial of this child has caused you pain, and you are here for an apology and to prove her son is the father.
Here comes a curveball. Representing her late son, Ms. Baker steps up to challenge the allegations head-on. She asserts that Mr. Abraham had serious doubts about his paternity before his untimely death. The courtroom is charged with tension as she seeks to clear her son's name and confront Ms. Hooker's claims. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for what's next.
Ms. Baker, you and your daughter are here today to represent your son, Mr. Abraham, because tragically he was killed 3 months after the birth. You say that before his death, your son expressed great doubt, father of Miss Hooker's baby, and you are here to put the lies.
Yes, Your Honor.
The atmosphere gets heavier. Miss Hooker, clearly fed up, voices her frustration and indifference to the skepticism surrounding her daughter's paternity. Her detachment is palpable as she dismisses the judgments and opinions of others. But don't go anywhere. The emotional roller coaster is just picking up speed.
I'm just sad sometimes. I try to deal with it now. Like, I really don't care no more. That's how I feel. I don't care anymore. Feel nothing about my baby. I don't care. It just
seemed like everybody else looking upside my head like I'm an animal. Like every time I'm sitting down doing something, they looking at me like I'm just outcast of the group. She looked like me, so why is it a problem? That's why I decided I don't care about nothing.
Dive deeper into the backstory. Miss Hooker opens up about her roller coaster relationship with Keyshawn, from best friends to partners and back to friends. It's a tale of young love and complex emotions, peppered with the ups and downs of their on and off romance. And just when you think you've heard it all, there's more to come.
6th grade year, we was best friends. Like we stopped talking, then we started going together for a minute, and then like we just, when I got pregnant, we was just like always talk, but we just stopped going. But we still talking though, but we just stopped going together. Like we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend.
But then you still talked.
Yeah.
Were you in love, or this was your first love?
Yeah.
This moment will tug at your heartstrings. The judge solemnly acknowledges the tragic passing of Keyshawn, who was fatally shot, leaving unresolved issues and deep grief in his wake. The emotional weight of this revelation hangs heavy in the air, but hold tight, the revelations ahead are even more startling.
May I ask what happened to Keyshawn?
He was shot on a Sunday and he died that Friday.
I'm so very sorry.
He just told me to promise him that we was gonna get a test done because of what the other young man said, and you know.
What did the other young man say?
He told Keyshawn that when he wasn't around, he was supposedly sleeping with the night.
Tensions flare up now. Miss Hooker vehemently denies any other romantic entanglements when Ms. Baker suggests there might have been another potential father. The courtroom becomes a battleground of words as trust and truth are put on the line. You definitely don't want to miss what happens next.
Cause how can somebody tell me who I was sleeping? Nobody in the room was.
Keyshawn told us that he wanted the blood test. Keyshawn only denied the baby when him and my daughter was arguing. Other than that, I have pictures with him laying on her. He had doubt only when he was angry, getting mad at what he tell his mother or nothing like that. He held the baby, kissed the baby, and loved the baby. We just need to get the results for Miss Carolyn.
Surprise, surprise! Ms. Baker recounts how whispers and rumors led her to discover Miss Hooker's pregnancy. It's a small-town saga of school bus gossip and family dinner revelations that had everyone talking. And just when you think the dust has settled, the plot twists again.
How did you learn that Miss pregnant?
She ride the same bus daughter and my granddaughter does from school, and they had came home like prior months before she was supposed to be pregnant. And I asked her, I said, do you know anything of your daughter being pregnant? The girl said they were on the bus, and she's
gonna
like,
find out what she having tomorrow.
Emotions are running high now. Ms. Baker and her family express their turmoil and confusion, deeply troubled by the paternity mystery and its impact, especially on Keyshawn's well-being before his death. It's a poignant reflection on how deeply personal this ordeal is for them. The next turn of events, absolutely gripping.
My mama has a relationship with them. I don't. It may or may not be his. I did not put the baby name in there just in case it isn't. My mom has to read that obituary. She lost a child. If this baby turned out to be his, do I want my mama to look in there and look at a reminder of a baby that was supposed to be his? I'm thinking about my mama feelings. It don't have nothing to do with her.
Get ready for a showdown. The courtroom heats up as a fiery exchange breaks out. Miss Hooker is sharply admonished by the judge for stepping out of line, highlighting the need for decorum amidst the chaos. But keep your eyes peeled. The most jaw-dropping part is yet to unfold.
They don't have to.
I already told, you know what I said already, Judge? Since she got left out the obituary, I have already told them, if it comes back saying Kenaya belongs to Keyshawn, a set of obituaries made. Baby grow up and she read her dad's obituary. There's her name.
And now, the moment of truth. The DNA test results are finally revealed.
It has been determined by this court. The percentage of relatedness between Ms. Baker, Mr. Abraham, and Kenaya Abraham is 0%.
And this is why right here.
Ms. Baker, are you all right?
Just when you thought daytime TV couldn't get any juicier, Miss Seuss hauls Mr. Payne into court, pointing fingers at his mother for his refusal to acknowledge their 10-month-old daughter, Aleliana. She's adamant about getting his name on the birth certificate once paternity is confirmed. Strap in, because Mr. Payne's retort is just around the corner.
Ms. Seuss, you have dragged the defendant into court today because you say it's his mother's fault he's denying your 10-month-old daughter. You claim when the DNA results prove he is the father, you want the defendant's name added to her birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
As the plot thickens, Mr. Payne and his mom lay out their case, citing Ms. Seuss's allegedly sneaky antics during their on and off 3-year saga as the root of their skepticism, demanding a DNA test before any signatures are penned. The sparks are about to fly even higher in the next exchange.
Mr. Payne, you and your mother say the plaintiff's sneaky behavior during your on and off 3-year relationship has led you both to believe she is a liar. You say you need the DNA DNA results or you're not signing anything.
Yes, Your Honor.
The tension ratchets up as the couple delves into the nitty-gritty of their rocky relationship, spotlighting a laundry list of jealousy and trust issues. Accusations are tossed back and forth, setting the stage for even more revelations. Buckle up because the gloves are coming off next.
So jealous and insecure about himself. Like, everywhere I go, he think I'm doing something. I go to the store, I gotta be back in a certain time. Like, he's just crazy.
Your Honor, she lying. She been out there, Facebook messages.
You guys, they're both jealous.
Of course I'm
it.
jealous. You were my boyfriend for like almost 3 years.
And why would not be
You guys
jealous?
do the
She was
same
my
thing
girl.
to each other.
All right.
How old are you guys?
I'm 19.
I'm 20.
In a dramatic twist, accusations about past indiscretions surface, throwing the paternity of the child into question right after they've rekindled their romance. Mr. Payne ties these doubts directly to his insistence on a DNA test. Things are about to get even more tangled up ahead.
He was happy for a minute. I don't know. I guess there we go with the DNA test stuff, so.
Your response, Mr. Payne.
I was happy and shocked at the same time because I felt like it happened fast.
Yes.
How soon after you got back together did
2 weeks.
It seemed like right away. It's the first time she got pregnant, I knew without a doubt it was his because she didn't go anywhere. I couldn't get rid of her. They break up so much, and they were broken up for about a month or something.
Yes.
They got back together, and she got pregnant.
Yes, we had sex.
Amidst a whirlwind of emotions, the announcement of the pregnancy initially brings joy, but quickly morphs into suspicion and demands for a DNA test due to their recent patch-up. The emotional roller coaster is far from over. Keep your eyes peeled for what's next.
And so you said we're not doing anything till we get a DNA test.
I said, me personally, I wanted a DNA test to make sure that it was his.
And
That he should get a
one-
DNA test because they both do things to each other. It seems like they go tit for tat. You're talking to a girl, I'm gonna go talk to this guy. They do this.
I'm not innocent.
This is
but
what
I'm not
they
gonna
do.
put no
Me
baby
neither.
if it's not your child.
But I was there
And as
through the
far as
pregnancy.
But you really weren't.
But I wasn't though.
How?
Because you wanted to stay away.
As the courtroom hangs on every word, Ms. Sousis shares the solitary struggles she faced during her pregnancy, feeling abandoned and choosing to go it alone, despite Mr. Payne's sporadic presence. Emotions continue to escalate as we dive deeper into their story.
I've been doing this for so long by myself. It's like, I'm just fed up.
She didn't have to be alone.
Yup,
That was
'cause
on
what's-
her.
who
She
was
chose
there
to.
for me?
She chose to. Me.
Mr. Payne says you didn't have to be alone. Why did you choose to do this by yourself?
Because I've been independent for so long, for so many years by myself. I was used to it, so it was like,
Did you want him to be there and help you? I'm confused as to why you didn't allow him to help.
it was too much for around my daughter, and I didn't want
Okay.
that all around her, so.
Layer by layer, the discussion reveals the strained relationship between the child, Mr. Payne, and his mother, highlighting a lack of connection and Ms. Sousis' challenges with co-parenting amid continuous strife. The emotional fireworks aren't done just yet. There's more to come.
So for the past 10 months, you've been raising her on your own.
Not on my own. Like, yeah, he comes in and out. I don't like that. If you're gonna stay out, you're gonna come in. Like, if she knows you're that, stay in.
If you need help and you want me to be there and you tell me no, what more can I do? Am I
All right,
supposed
but
to
when I
talk
ask
to
you for
'Cause you
stuff,
don't
it's
wanna-
always a
What
problem. though.
How is it? You just
Formula,
asked me.
It's a problem.
What did I do?
Right? What did you do? That
Stroller, you
wrong.
ain't even put the stroller up. Because it's
I'm not
blue.
putting my, yes,
Because
no
But you
blue
should have told me
stroller.
that, and I would have replaced it.
Reaching a fever pitch, Ms. Sousis explains the critical role of Mr. Payne's name on the birth certificate and how his refusal has exacerbated feelings of rejection and complicated their co-parenting dynamics. The climax is nearing, and you won't want to miss it.
In your court papers, you say he's not on Aleliana's birth certificate.
Yes, that's another reason why I didn't let him take her as much.
Don't sign it if you have any doubts. Get the DNA like y'all doing now.
And I had a
Then
doubt,
sign
and
it.
it's sad that it took 10 months for it
It's
to
sad.
happen, but at least it can happen today. And if it is my child, I'm gonna step all the way, 100%. You
All
don't
the
gotta
way.
say good.
At last, the much-anticipated paternity results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Payne, you are the father.
Thank you.
I'm happy. Now I'm happy. Now I can be happy.
Get ready for a roller coaster of emotions. Ms. Brown Murray stands before the court outraged by accusations from her husband, Mr. Murray, who doubts the paternity of their child. She has been accused of infidelity while serving in Iraq, which she vehemently denies. The emotional weight of these accusations is palpable as she defends her fidelity and the integrity of their family. Buckle up, because the courtroom drama is about to get even more intense.
Ms. Brown Murray, today you say you stand before me outraged because your husband has accused you of infidelity while serving in Iraq. Furthermore, you claim he now doubts paternity of your child.
Yes, Your Honor.
You won't believe what comes out of Mr. Murray's mouth next. Mr. Murray presents his argument, suspecting that his wife cheated on him while she was deployed overseas. He believes that the timeline of her pregnancy announcement is too soon after her return, making it impossible for him to be the father. This moment heightens the tension in the courtroom as he lays out his doubts and fears. Just wait. The plot thickens in just a moment.
You argue that your wife did indeed cheat on you while while serving overseas. You contend that there's no way you could be the father because she announced she was too soon after returning home.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Brown Murray is about to spill the tea on military life. She explains the difficulties of staying faithful under the pressures and temptations of military life overseas. Despite the presence of attractive colleagues and challenging conditions, she reassures the court and her husband of her commitment to their marriage. Her detailed account of communication challenges during her deployment, including dealing with bomb threats, illustrates her efforts to maintain transparency with her husband. The next part is a doozy, so stay tuned.
I'll be honest, when you're overseas at first, I mean, there's gonna be temptations, guys that look good, and there's gonna be guys all around, and you're gonna see guys, but that doesn't mean that you have to cheat and you have to go outside of your marriage. There's temptation all around, but I didn't cheat and I didn't go outside of my marriage, and I know that in the military there's a rule that we can't do that. And I assured him every day I Skyped with him every day. When I wasn't able to Skype, it was because there was a bomb going off or something that I would have to get in the bunker and it's hours.
Mr. Murray is about to lay his heart on the line. He shares his personal struggles with being alone in a new state while his wife was deployed, highlighting his vulnerability and the psychological toll of her absence. He expresses his insecurities about the age difference between them and the presence of younger men around his wife at the base. His fears are compounded by the isolation and his apprehensions about his wife's fidelity. Gear up, because we're diving deeper into his psyche next.
First time me being alone in another state with no family. My wife is deploying overseas. Don't know if I'm gonna ever see her again. Is she still gonna have love for me? It's a lot of men on base, a younger man. Keep in mind, I'm 22 years older than my wife. So that has a lot to do with my being guilty.
Because you feel like she may have wanted to be with someone younger.
Yes. Things are about to get even juicier with this next conversation. Rumors and misconceptions about relationships on military bases are discussed, adding to Mr. Murray's anxiety. A young man from Mr. Murray's apartment complex fuels these fears by describing a culture of secrecy and infidelity among deployed personnel. This conversation significantly influences Mr. Murray's doubts about his wife's loyalty. Stick around, the emotional roller coaster is just picking up speed.
While I was there in the apartment complex, I met a few people. This apartment complex has 85% of military people either still active. He said, which really, this is when I really got word. In the military's world, when they overseas, they have a group of people, and that group got to stay with each other. If they're there for 2 years, he said it could be 40 married ladies on base.
And that's not true.
Watch as a new witness turns the heat up in the courtroom. A witness, a former military member, testifies about the common behaviors and unspoken rules among soldiers stationed away from home, which often include forming close bonds that may lead to infidelity. This testimony is meant to provide context to Mr. Murray's concerns, but also highlights that not all military personnel engage in these behaviors. The discussion sheds light on the challenges of maintaining marital fidelity in a military context. Fasten your seatbelts. The courtroom drama escalates from here.
First and foremost, I don't want to bring any discredit upon the military because the actions of soldiers, there are a lot of times where you join the military and you're away from home, and so the first thing you can do is cling to people who are around you. You develop a camaraderie. Pretty much what goes on base stays on base. You know, the unofficial term for it was temporarily divorced.
The tension is almost unbearable as we near the DNA results. The climax builds as Mr. Murray discusses his suspicions around the timing of Ms. Brown Murray's pregnancy announcement shortly after her return. His previous medical condition, which could affect fertility, adds to his skepticism about being the biological father. This part of the episode leads directly into the unveiling of the DNA test results, creating a peak moment of suspense. Get ready for the big reveal. It's just around the corner.
And so how soon after she returned home from Iraq did this pregnancy announcement happen?
She came home in November.
Given the fact doctor had already told you had a low sperm count before she leaves for overseas and she never got pregnant.
Never did.
Then she comes back home and in under a month she's pregnant. You say to yourself,
how can that be?
This child may not be mine, is what you were thinking. I think it's time we get to results.
The verdict is in and you won't believe the outcome. The resolution comes with the DNA test results.
It has been determined by this court that you are her father.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.